It's fine.
I'll click record.
Okay,
Do we keep it or clap or what we're doing?
We gon' clap.
On clap or 3?
3.
3, 2, 1, clap.
Yes. 3, 2, 1, clap. Beautiful. Right, kick us off, Will.
I'm just trying to figure out why your brain goes. I said 3, 2, 1, clap. Yeah, Callum went 3, 2, 1, clap. He still can't do it. Your brain works in such a peculiar way.
The thing is, when I clapped, I heard both of your claps, so it was in sync on my end.
Well,
anyway.
You have the worst internet in the Western Hemisphere, so
Fuck off.
you definitely do. Anyways,
Oh, lovely.
hello everybody, and welcome back to the second episode this week. Is it 9? Is it 9?
Yes,
9.
Well done.
9. If you saw the Instagram post, on Saturday, you'll know that dear old Tommy Boy has contracted. I don't know whether to call it deadly or not so deadly. We'll just say COVID-19.
He's a poorly boy.
And he's been a bit down with the old.
Down with COVID.
COVID. I was going to say down with the trumpets, but you know,
not the old.
He's been a bit under the weather. That was the one I was looking for.
Yeah, just
the old
fucking
COVID.
bored in the old isolation thing, you know.
Yeah, well, no excuse for not editing that. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, you bastard.
So he's been a bit ill. So we've let him off. So apologies for the late episode.
We stopped whipping
on Monday
him because we felt bad.
I'm kind
They got me off.
of glad, to be honest. I finally lowered the carrot that I was stringing in front of his face.
Just finally
so
fed
long.
me the carrot.
Oh, Tom, you can stop now.
No, it wouldn't
Pick
be a
the
carrot. It'd be a
pick the
pot
carrots,
brownie.
Big carrot.
Just be a spliff.
Oof, probably. Anyway, I think I'm gonna say we don't really know what we're doing today.
There's a helicopter going on.
Yeah, just checking that I'm still in my fucking quarantine.
Yeah.
Is he still there? He's still there.
Helicopter. Yeah, Tom's still in his house.
Have you seen that one where he's like got the army helmet?
Oh my
He's
God,
out,
yes.
At the helicopter, he's pointing at the fucking.
It's a beautiful sight.
It was like Boris on the 20th of June at 11:59, making sure no one's out yet, and he's like, "There he is!"
I like the one where he's like running down the street. He's going, "Bloody rapscallions!"
Oh, I only found out the other day. That's a skit.
Yeah,
That's not actually him.
You always thought it
I
was
never
him.
knew that. That kind of it really disappointed me when I found out it wasn't him. Bloody rapscallions! Fucking sprints down the road. I was like, man, this is why I love him. I don't love him because I think he's a dickhead, right? But he's just such a funny guy.
He's a funny
just
person, just himself, the way he speaks and that.
The way he does the hand signals, we must stay at home, protect
It's
him.
like when he did one of those, you know, where it says like auto-complete interview thing, and you peel it off. It says like, "Does Brexit make my passport expire?" He's like, "No, but you can get a nice blue passport." It's just like, what?
Yeah, it's the way he said. No, it doesn't make it expire.
Yeah.
You can get a nice blue passport. The guy is just jokes. What worries me even more? He's like the opposite end of the spectrum to Ali G.
Oh my God.
Like, they're both really smart people. They both act like twats. However, one of them is actually a twat.
Isn't a character.
And one of them's a decent guy. Yeah, one of them's just in character all the time. But yeah, I think it's important to say before we start, we don't actually have a topic today. We've just come on here and we're going to throw shit at the wall and see what sticks because, as we said, Tom's got COVID, he's quite ill. Callum's got plans.
Fag.
So we don't really... We're trying to plan an episode, but it's hard because we need to research it and no one can be on stuff. This is literally...
Basically,
we're
lazy AF.
Well, I'm having to research things that I need to research, which are very boring for my university degree. Callum works all the time and just gets home and doesn't want to do anything, which is understandable. And Tom's sick, so like that conspiracy theory episode is coming. I promise you, it is coming. But for today, we're going to throw shit at the wall and just converse and see what sticks. We'll probably end up getting onto some.
I will have a good point to prove with this whole the old anti-vaxxers stuff as well.
Oh, let's get on that.
Wait, hang on,
because we're just going to throw shit at the wall, see what sticks. But Callum clearly has something to say.
To ask everyone, what do you think of our new layout? You know, what do you think of the song that's starting? And it's going to be like that for every episode. Let us know.
You confused the shit out of me when you said that. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to lie. I haven't heard it yet.
One
so,
yet.
as
but
as of this recording, we haven't actually chosen an intro. It's great.
It's going to be in the
wonderful.
future.
Amazing.
We need to get the audience to tell us how they think. Yes.
I'm a fan of continuity, my friend. If I haven't done it yet, then I'm not going to say it.
That's very true.
Democracy.
So,
sorry, I watched Star Wars the other day, and it was like, when him and Obi-Wan and Anakin are arguing, it's like, my allegiance to the Republic, to democracy. I've been watching. So I started watching all the Star Wars films in order, from like including like Solo and Rogue One.
I'm not a big fan of those ones, to be fair.
I've just finished.
I didn't mind Solo. I thought
I've just
everyone
finished.
was slating it, and I watched it. I was just like, okay, it's quite quick with how stuff happens, but I thought it was alright.
Yeah, but then if it was the opposite, people would be going, "Oh, it's really slow, it's boring." So you can't win. But I'm currently. I've just finished episode 3. I waited a month to watch episode 3. I watched episode 1. Had to persevere because I hate Jar Jar Binks. And then I got halfway through episode 2, and I was kind of piggybacking off my sister's Disney Plus, and they cancelled it because they didn't watch it, so I couldn't watch it. And then my girlfriend opened up a Disney Plus account the other day because they've now got Star, the TV platform,
the American one.
They've got Star on there, and the main attraction for me getting that was because, like 4 or 5 years ago, I started watching Sons of Anarchy, and I got 3 episodes in, and Netflix removed it. Netflix removed it, so I've just started rewatching that, and I'm on episode 4. So I've literally caught up to where I was, and it's fucking
Sons of Anarchy is amazing.
But I'm having to.
Whatever happened to the?
I'm really struggling.
That they were going to make.
They did.
Listen. Don't say anything because I'm only
Wait,
4 episodes in. Okay.
They've already released it.
Wait, have they? What?
Mayans, yeah.
Oh, some
shit.
I think they might have done 2 seasons for it. I don't know if they're still making it, but
Oh fuck. Okay.
they have like all
What's
of
it
the
called
old
again?
characters. Mayans.
Mayans. Okay, I'll have to give that a watch.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
But it's so sick. I'm struggling to not watch it.
You gotta
if you get what I mean.
savour
Like,
it.
all I want to do when I get up is like watch it.
Yeah.
It's not even. I've got so much to do. Like I wake up and I have so much to do every day in terms of whether it's like uni work or it's working out or it's like walking, just little things. I've got loads that I have to do and loads I want to do, and I've got to balance it. And I really want to watch Sons of Anarchy, but I can't. So like I've watched it in a couple of days, but I'm probably going to watch
It's
some
like
later
me.
on
I need to finish
very
watching the
good.
fucking Mandalorian.
Oh,
And I've
mate,
been told
that's
to watch
so sick.
WandaVision as well.
I've been told to watch that. I just can't be asked. I don't know why, but I can't concurrently watch 2 seasons, like 2 different series at once. I struggle. I've got to be fully invested into something, and at the moment it's Sons of Anarchy, and it's going to be Sons of Anarchy.
The big problem I'm faced with is I started getting back into anime, and once you start watching anime, your life is just sucked in. You have to stay devoted to it, and then 10 years down the line, you'll be like, I need to stop now.
I never understood it. So I never understood the hype, right? So I don't mind anime. I've watched animes before. Like obviously I grew up in the golden age of like Pokemon. Pokemon was like the first one, and Dragon Ball. I was a huge fan of Dragon Ball growing up as well. And after that, I
did you
didn't
not
really
watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
Maybe like, would you class? Yeah, I was going to say, would you class
Yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh as well?
Yu-Gi-Oh
I watched a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh. I had the. I don't know if you two remember, but because you used to fuck around. But I had the. We all collected the cards. I had the little arm thing.
I always
that you
wanted
put
one
on
of
your
them,
arm.
but Mum and Dad never fucking got me one.
That
as
was
a kid.
sick. I got it for my birthday. My nan got it for me. Shout out Nana V. But that was sick. That was absolutely sick. I used to fucking flaunt that like it was no one's business. But I never really watched. I watched a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh. Never really got into it too much. But Pokemon and Dragon Ball were the main ones. And then as I got older, I just stopped watching it. But someone I used to see was a big fan of anime, all that cosplay shit, and got me onto like Death Note. So I watched the film Death Note, the live action one, right? Yeah, and I thought, because I'd never seen the series, I didn't even know there was a series, right? I watched it, and this girl was like, oh, this is shit compared to the series. And I was like, there's a series? shoot, yeah, it's an anime series, and I watched the anime series, and obviously it's dubbed because it's all in fucking Japanese, and that adds like a whole new level of like, or I don't know what, almost like excitement when it's dubbed. I don't know what it is, and I watched it all in Japanese, and it's fucking sick. I watched that. There's one I can't remember what it's called, but it's where they've got like red eyes, and the people with red eyes eat humans. Yeah, watch that. That's sick. I watched Castlevania as well. Castlevania's fucking good. They're all good, but I just don't. I see loads of people rave about them and shit, and I don't get the hype. I don't get the hype.
The thing is, I love
and
it, but
all I keep seeing on TikTok, so gone.
Like, I see what you mean. Like, when people live and die by anime, I don't get that. But like, with me,
Sorry.
Once I start watching it, I'm like, I have to finish it because, you know, it's one of the few TV types things that can like actually sort of get me to pay attention. Because a lot of the time, whenever I try and start a series, I'll get into it, and then like my attention span starts to drift. Whereas with I don't know why, but for some odd reason with anime, like I just stay gripped watching it. I think it's because it's a brightly coloured cartoon thing, and that inner child in me is just like, oh, pretty colours. Oh,
I think it's borderline. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's borderline pornography.
What, anime?
Oh god, no!
Like,
I don't watch that shit.
Some anime that I've seen. So like, obviously, if you don't know what TikTok is, you're living under a rock. Everyone does. I've seen a lot for some reason. Right? I think the algorithm on TikTok puts things on your For You page that like relate to things you actively watch, right? And I don't actively search anything to do with anime at all. Okay, and I keep seeing whether it's anime clips of stuff like that or like cosplayers dressing as anime girls. The amount, and I'm going to say this now, right? The amount of men that are obsessed with anime cosplayers is actually
it's quite
outrageous.
terrifying.
Like, it's creepy, and like the one I keep seeing is always these girls on fucking, and they keep doing this. I don't know what it is or what it means, but like they dress for like bare tight clothing. It's almost like latex, and they go ada ada, and I don't know what the fuck it means, right? That was quite good, wasn't it? But I'm going to have some anime fans like tearing down my door trying to get to me thinking I'm some woman with massive tits. When really I'm a bloke with massive tits. But no, they're like obsessed with these anime birds that like, and even the ones that aren't cosplay. Like, I get the cosplay side of it because they're real people and that they have lives. But there are men that are like actually in love with cartoon characters that have massive breasts.
It's really weird. It makes me feel so uncomfortable.
And it's weird how they're made. I watched the fucking TikTok the other day. It was a clip, and it's like white anime is basically porn. I don't know what anime it was, but like this girl was laying on the floor and someone was holding a gun at her, and Donnie came out of nowhere with like a sniper and used her
I've seen that.
Like he put the sniper in between her tits. And like you squeezed them and used it as a bipod to absorb the shot, and I was like, "Who the Japanese people that make these shows are actually crap."
Animes like that are they're not like the mainstream ones. Like, it's really bizarre because you've got ones that aren't sexualized in any way, like Attack on Titan, maybe Sword Art Online. There's one bit of Sword Art Online that's a bit hypersexualized, but that's more story related because like once that kicks in you're just like, oh shit. But in stuff where they just force it down your throat, it like I can't stand those ones. So like there's this one called High School of the Dead, which is like set during a zombie apocalypse, and the first thing you see is this big titted fucking schoolgirl get clawed at by zombies, and one of them goes straight into biting her tit, and then there's this like professor who's walking around, and there's an actual fucking sound effect of her tits bouncing, like just full on like doing, doing, doing.
Tom's on Google right now, like looking for
it. And like I watched the first like this was all within the first 5 minutes, and I just turned it off. I was just like, nah. But then there's stuff where they take the piss out of it. So there's this one called Kill la Kill, where she has this like uniform that turns into like this superpower thing, and the whole thing.
No, it was. Sorry, I moved something. I didn't realise it was a squeaky toy.
I thought your dog yelped then.
It's a little Among Us imposter.
But yeah, so this one like Kill la Kill, it basically takes the piss out of all of the like hypersexualization stuff that goes on in anime. So like, it's aware of it, but it's not trying to do it seriously.
Yeah, it's just having a playing
basically. So like that one I could watch because it was actually really funny. And it's just like, you can't get your rocks off to this. But no, exactly. Like, I don't understand it. It's fucking hand-drawn sprites. It's like people who get turned on by video game characters. Like,
it's like on the hub. On the hub, there's a lot of anime. You've seen the hub. Tom knows about the hub and the anime stuff. Tom had an ex-girlfriend who was literally obsessed with
anime.
Doesn't
mean I fucking watch anime or Pornhub, though.
No, I'm not saying this, but you definitely... There was definitely some anime playing there somewhere. I know there was. I've been there, mate. All right, it's okay. We're in this together. Callum's the only one missing.
Like fucking little verb. What's it?
Callum's the only one missing out here. That is jokes, though.
Oh, God.
So, sexual interactions with a cosplay person is weird. But anyway, we're not going to go down that route. Something on the topic of like anime, and when Callum said "get your rocks off," I don't know why this came into my head. I've been doing a lot of research recently into NoFap. Don't know if any of you know what that is, because that was a really weird silence. Do you have any idea what it is?
Where you don't fap. The clue's in the fucking name, you pleb.
But I don't know. You're some sort of old-fashioned guru, so you might not even know what fap means.
Wow.
Do you know like the whole? Do you know what the whole like benefits of it is and stuff?
Your balls swell up and explode.
More or less, yeah. No, so like a year ago, our good old friend Jack mentioned it to me, all right, and I didn't really understand. I was like, why the fuck would you want to do that? Okay, and then I know a guy who told me that he had a porn addiction, and I was like, you can be addicted to that? And he's like, yeah, it's like it fucks up his mind and shit. And I was like, what? So I started like things that interest me. I want to learn more about. So I went on YouTube and I was like, porn addiction. Started looking at all these things, right? And it like completely alters your perception of reality in terms of like women and relations and sexual like stuff. And I was like, shit, man. So like, I remember this is like kind of relevant. I was playing a football match and I went to the doctors the day after because I had I had like a pain. No, I'm just it relates.
Will likes wanking on the pitch.
So I went to the doctors the day after because I had like this pain, and I went to the doctors. And obviously, doctor did what doctors do when you say that. You just have a little fondle. He tickled me spuds, so to speak. He was like, really. I wasn't expecting to say it, and he died. He was like, "How often do you masturbate?" And like, I felt like I had to be really honest. I was like, I don't know, like no more than 3 times a week. And he was like, "How often do you like ejaculate?" And I was like, "Oh god." And I was like, "What, like overall, like including like sex?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times a week." And he's like, Have you ever heard of semen retention?" And I said, "Is that like NoFap?" Obviously, because Jack had recently told me about it. And he's like, "Yeah, that's what people call it." And I was like, "No, can you explain the benefits of it to me?" And he went through like a whole like fucking 10-minute conversation about it. He was saying how like NoFap, like when you like watch porn, he said porn is a really big addiction because doing cocaine obviously lights up your dopamine receptors, right? And it only lasts. No, listen, it all relates. When you do like drugs like cocaine and stuff, it lights up your dopamine receptors and you release dopamine, right? And cocaine, if you do cocaine, dopamine might last for 10 minutes before you need another bump. Yeah, you do it again. When you do porn lights up your dopamine receptors 150 times more than cocaine does, right? And it's free on your mobile device that you can watch for 9-10 hours a day if you want to. So you can constantly be getting dopamine rushes every fucking minute of a waking day if you really want it. And that's without doing anything to yourself.
You know what that makes me think of? That fucking Russell Howard skit where he's on about he was on a bus and he just saw this kid just sat there on the chair just watching porn, not doing anything. He was literally just sat there with his arms folded, phone out, just watching porn.
It's bad. It's bad. I've been doing like research into the NoFap thing, and I remember I tried it after the doctor said like, "Oh, I'll try," and I did it for like 3 weeks, and it was like the best 3 weeks of my life. I felt like I could do anything. Like I felt like I was performing better in the gym and in sports. I felt like I was maybe not performing better at uni, but like I was more there, like mentally. I wasn't like distracted and stuff like that. And then I just sort of forgot about it and fell back into old habits.
Is that why
in
after
the past
those
like
3 weeks
month,
there was a hole in your ceiling? Just
no, no,
just the build
never.
up.
Don't know what it wasn't even the first one back. I just fired out a fucking industrial warhead through the fucking roof. It's still going now. That space station crashed. Yeah, that was my fault. Sorry, boys. But like, they were like the best 3 weeks, and then the past sort of month, I've been looking into it more and seeing like actual scientific benefits of how like it can affect the brain and stuff like that. And one thing I found was that if you watch YouTube videos of it, it gives you basic information, but they also fabricate and exaggerate a lot of things. Like there's a video I saw of a guy, and he was like, after 9 months, I felt like Superman. I felt like I could lift a truck. I could carry a granny down the stairs. And I was like, you're chatting waffle. Like, it doesn't do that. But it is almost like a superpower for your head, in the sense that like the level of confidence you get from it is just from the 3 weeks I did it. I felt like a madness. I was like, oh, no one can tell me shit. I'm doing this. I'm the biggest. But like, back to like reality sort of thing. I was telling my cousin about it yesterday, and he was really struggling to understand why anybody would want to do it. And you guys know my cousin and know what he's like. Man, why would anyone not want to bust a nut when they go to bed? Like, that sort of shit. Why would anybody not want to do shit like that, man? It feels good, innit? And I'm like, it's also fucking your brain. Alright, Mr. Psychology, you tell me how it's fucking my brain. So I took him through it, and he was like, rah, I might have to try that still. And I was like, so try it. And then he messaged me yesterday, and he went, day one failed. Like, literally last night, day one failure. And I was like, for fuck's sake. He's like, I'm going to try it, though. And he was like, well, how long do you go? I was like, I normally go 3 weeks, and then I'll give myself like the week to, if I feel like it, you know, if things, yeah, and then I'll go again. And he's like, what? So like you don't have like sex or anything like that? I was like, no, that's different, because that's an actual sensation, like with another person. It's completely different and lights up completely different areas of your brain. But masturbation, more to the point, porn, is incredibly dangerous, especially when how accessible it is. I think we spoke last week about how they don't even ask you for like it used to be like, are you over 18? And you have to click yes or no, and it doesn't even do that now. Like you can just go on there and it just load. You can just type it. Yeah, you can just type it in, and it's available to anyone and everyone. If you know what it is at 7 years old, you can find it at 7 years old. It's nuts.
I think our government wanted to actually implement something on these sites.
They wanted to ban porn.
Well, they wanted to ban it, and then everybody was in fucking uproar, and then they were like, okay, we're going to do something to prove you're actually over the age of 18. So instead of doing the whole, like, oh, just put in your age, it's actually something to... something that only someone over the age of 18 would have. So I think one of the suggestions was credit cards. So you can only get a credit card when you're age 18 or over, and you've met certain requirements.
I don't know, if I got told to put in a credit card on Pornhub, I think I'd be turned off for life, because like some of the people on there, man, you know, it's not hard to hack. People find it easy to hack places like Sony and Microsoft, bro. Pornhub ain't gonna have that level of security. Yeah. They've probably got a cardboard firewall going up, so I wouldn't do that. But like, that kind of shows like the misconception of how we see it. We see it as like, fuck you, don't take out porn. Blah. But if people actually knew and researched into the cognitive benefits and the emotional benefits like your body got from not even like not getting yourself off, but just not watching porn. Like, I mean, the level of damage it does to your brain long term if you watch it every day, which a lot of people do.
Another way to think about it as well is, if you really want to try and get yourself off of porn, read interviews from ex-porn stars. So from people like Mia Khalifa.
Yeah, they're like miserable as fuck. She's the main one.
But like, if you read interviews from them, they'll tell you what it's actually like to try and make those videos. So the amount of abuse they have to go through.
It's degrading,
like,
bro, yeah.
It's not the
Degrading.
fact that it's degrading. It's what people do to them. So like, you've got stuff like abuse fetish porn and stuff like that. You've got rape fetish porn and things like that, where like people will actually be abused
it's weird, man.
to get in order for other people to get their rocks off. Like, it's stuff like that, and to do stuff that you wouldn't be comfortable with. I mean, one of the best examples out there is 2 Girls, 1 Cup. I mean, I'm pretty sure that those 2 girls didn't really want to do that.
Probably not. Some people do those. There are some creeps out there.
Again, like, just the amount of abuse people have
to
to go through
boat, but
in order for a 10-minute video to be whacked up online for somebody to just fucking come into a sock to. Like,
this is the thing, man. Like, it's like I did, like when I was reading about it, did some like mini maths because my head isn't really built for maths, so I can do basic.
Were you wanking whilst you were reading it? Just like, oh, okay, I see these benefits.
I haven't done that in like 2 weeks. Seriously, I haven't. I can't. Like, it's really hard to start off with, but once you like realize how much more productive you are not doing it. Like, when you do it, like, I don't know about you guys, but like, so like, say you're sleeping with someone, right? You're having intercourse with someone.
Sorry, it's me opening a Pepsi.
That's alright. And you're all done, yeah. When you've finished up, you have like this clarity situation, right? So like a good example would be, if you sleep with someone you don't want to sleep with, or like you don't really know, you don't have a connection with, so like maybe a one-night stand thing, or like friends with benefits. So I think we've all been friends with benefits with someone at some stage. Don't know about you guys, but from my experience, when I'd finished with that... No, but like, back to it. When I was friends with benefits with a person I knew, obviously not going to name her because she wouldn't appreciate it, but every time like it was done, it was just awkward, and like because there was no connection there, I just wanted to go home. Like, I was like, "Fuck this! This is bullshit." I got what I came for, because that sounded like shit. Like, we were friends, but that just made it awkward,
made it weird.
But like, yeah, and like when I've had times where like I've masturbated, like when I was like in my teen years and stuff like that, and I'd finish and I just wouldn't want to do anything. I'd have like, and it'd be like 4 p.m. There are still 8 hours in the day that I can like be productive and do shit, and I'd just be like laying there on my bed for like an hour afterwards. Like, what am I gonna do now?
I reckon.
But like, it's fucking.
Yeah, I reckon I'd actually be able to do the no fat thing, because like there's been times where I've not done it for like ages, and especially now lately when I'm getting home from work, I've not been drinking tea. I've been drinking other stuff which I'm cutting out, but even yesterday when
Callum's currently going through like I'm going to say a pre-life crisis where we had like a psychology session the other day. He came around my house and he sat on my decking, socially distanced of course, and we had like a psychology session, because I'm not going to get into what's been happening in his personal life unless he wants to talk about it. That's his decision, not mine.
We'll save all that for when we do like a mental health episode or something.
Yeah, or like a relationship episode or something. But that's for another time, because it's not my place to talk about Callum's personal life. But me and Tom have noticed that he's been heavy on the drink. Not alcoholic level, but recently, maybe like the past month or two, he's been a bit heavy on the drink when it comes to like... Yeah, so like Callum likes a drink anyway. We all do. All three of us are big fans. Tom, maybe
not as much as I used to be.
But still likes a drink.
I drink.
Yeah, but me and Callum like a drink, and when we're together, it's a fucking disaster waiting to happen. Yep. Because we just try and outdrink each other, and one of us normally ends up passing out depending on what we're drinking. It's normally me, but it depends on what we're drinking. Mm-hmm. If it's beer, I'm going to win. If it's anything else, Callum's winning.
Yep.
There's me just coasting along.
We had like just in the corner. Oh, I'm 4 pints in and 7 doozies. I'm alright. But we had like a little psychology session, and I think I recommended trying the no fat thing, but I didn't get into the science of it with you. But I was like, try it. And I think you should probably try it. I think my challenge to anyone listening to this, if you're a bloke, because I don't know how it affects women, I'm not going to lie, I have no idea if it even does. But if you're a bloke and you've never tried doing it, I challenge you to try it for a week and see if you feel different. Write down how you feel prior to starting it. Set a date, whether that be a Monday or Friday, and just don't do it for a week, and then come back after that 1 week mark and read your notes on how you felt and see if there's any difference. I guarantee you there is at least a little change.
I mean, like I was saying, like, I reckon I'll be able to do it because the past like few nights I'm just knackered, and then I end up passing out at like 10, half 10. Whereas before, when I was drinking like tea whenever I came back from work or something, because I was awake, I was just like, I might as well just, whack one out. Maybe that will help me go to sleep. But it does. But like ever since I've been coming home, not having caffeine and just being like, I just want to go to bed and go to sleep, I've not had that urge to go, you know what? Let's just have a wank just to make everything feel better. It's like, no, I just don't really want to. So that's a top tip. Make sure you're tired when you get home from whatever you're doing, and that way you won't sort of get that urge. You might sort of start going, maybe, but if you just leave it, you'll just go to sleep.
I find that like it kind of wakes you up, because like that dopamine release kind of gets you going again.
Yeah, you sort of you go, I'm going to relieve it to sort of see if that'll make me tired, because that's what happens after you have sex. But it's the complete opposite.
And then you're awake, and you're fucking firing all cylinders again. It's not nice, and I find that when I do go through stages, like eventually I feel like I'm going to get to a stage where I just don't want to do it anymore, because it has happened already, where I've been like, you know what, I don't even want to think about it, because the thought of doing it just annoys me, because I know how I am after. Like, I struggle to get motivated on the best of days. Like, I'm quite a driven guy, and I can get up and what I want to do I normally achieve, in terms of like whether I want to lose weight or gain muscle, or I want to finish an assignment by a set date. I'm pretty good at doing it, but I really struggle to get motivated, and I have to like find ways to motivate myself, whether that be watching videos or like thinking of things that are going to happen once I've done the goal I want to achieve. But it is fucking hard, and I find that the thing I value the most from not doing this is time, because like the average like porn masturbation session is about, we'll say 10 minutes, right? So if we say 10 minutes, because men know what they're doing to themselves, because, it's us. We say 10 minutes, the average masturbation session on watching a porn video. Yeah. If you add in the factor of setting up, so we'll say 5 minutes, cleaning up another 5 minutes, that's 20. And then the time it takes you to find something you actually want to watch regarding you are actually watching something, that's another 5-10 minutes. That's 30 minutes of your day. And if you do that, I think the average man probably masturbates 2 to 4 times a week. If you do that 4 times a week for 30 minutes, that's, 2 hours?
Who the fuck is wanking for 30 minutes?
No, you didn't listen to what I just said, did you?
Out.
Tom, you heard what I said, right? Yeah, the average time to like set up, find a video, clean up afterwards, all that takes about roughly 25-30 minutes, right?
That takes ages to clear up. That's what I want to know.
You are so fucking dense, honestly. If you listened, mate, if you had the basic human like consistency to listen to things other people said, you would be a dangerous human being. You would be a fucking certified killer if you understood how to communicate properly.
Well, I think,
but like that.
I think with that, now's a good time to cut to the break. I think. Yes, it's a new feature we've implemented into our podcast. Look at us evolving.
Please explain this, because it was Callum's idea. So please explain.
We'll explain after the break, because I need to visit the restroom. So.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to say the break for you guys is not really a break. We're going to come straight back, because obviously the power of editing. But there's going to be like a thing. Callum will explain it when we get back. But we'll see you guys in a minute.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Are you tired of not being able to fap? Are you suffering from having your balls so swollen they feel like they'll explode? Well, try the latest product from LiS, the hand. Now, you may be thinking, why don't I use my own hand? By using the hand from LiS, you will get that sensation of somebody else stroking your pulsating shaft, giving you that truly intimate feeling, like you're with a partner or maybe even a prostitute. And by using the hand, yours will stay nice and clean once you have blown a hole through your ceiling. With its easily clean, compact design, you can place it anywhere. No one can judge you if you can hide it away, am I right? So don't delay, fap away with the LIS hand. Buy now for $2.99.99. Tax not included. And if you purchase now, you can get a free LIS fist. Perfect for when you need to hit that G-spot. I'm looking at you guys. LIS is not responsible for any injuries, latent poison, or accidental anal placement. LIS is run by 3 idiots who were happily run away to Mexico to escape any lawsuits coming their way.
And we're back.
Hello.
I don't know what the advert was because I don't think it's been recorded yet, but...
No. So, basically,
Nothing's
with these ad breaks, lately, whenever we've been finishing a podcast, we've been having to cut it a little bit short because one of us is desperately needing the toilet. So, I came up with the ingenious idea of having these ad breaks in so we can essentially do that. And in the meantime, rather than just having the recording stop and then we suddenly cut back to being like, oh, we're back, I thought it would be a good idea to have a funny advert put in.
A fake advert, obviously.
Yeah, it'll be a fake advert that we've recorded, based off of either the entire topic we're talking about in an episode, or like an episode with this, where we're going to be having different topics. I'll pick out one specific topic from that and do an advert based on that, essentially. So it'll be a bit like the intros we had before, where it's all just like pre-recorded, silly shit, but this time it's going to be a bit more... I'd say seem a bit more professional rather than just random stuff. At least these adverts are going to be related to the topics in the episode. So, yeah. Let us know what you think.
Amazing job, Callum. Well done.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
This is what happens. I listen to other podcasts and I just steal their...
Give you a crisp high five, but don't want to give you COVID.
I just steal ideas from other podcasts that I listen to.
It actually sounds... It sounds like downstairs in my house currently there is an avalanche. Or like, you know that scene from Jumanji when Robin Williams is like, it's a stampede, and then they all fucking run through the house. That's currently what's going on in my downstairs kitchen. I don't know what the fuck is happening, but...
Yeah.
Bugs running about.
So,
he's not that
what
okay.
can we talk about now, lads? Oh, I know.
What the fuck was that?
So have you boys seen there was a undetonated World War II bomb found in Exeter
at a university?
Yeah, so 2,000 homes have had to be evacuated.
Yeah, I saw this. It was jokes.
Which is
saw it on
bloody
TikTok.
mental.
Saw it on TikTok. Thought it was some madness.
Who needs
Exactly.
BBC News?
Exactly.
It's
It's like me with Reddit.
That wham fucking polar ice cap shelf split in two today, creating, I think it was a 411 square meter iceberg. That's the one. Couldn't think of the word.
I was just thinking, well.exe has stopped working.
And my brain was literally going, that thing the Titanic hit, the thing the Titanic hit, the thing the Titanic hit, and I was like, what's the fucking name? I can't say that, and I was like, yeah. In my head I heard the thing going, iceberg, and I was like, that's what it is. It's an
what's
iceberg.
really annoying is if I go on the news feeds on my phone, stuff like that doesn't fucking pop up.
Oh, I saw it this morning
because
because my
with the
mum.
environment, it don't pop up on my phone.
I only saw it this morning because my mum was watching the fucking Sir Tom, Captain Tom's funeral, because you know how my mum be, and I was like, turn this shit off. Not in a bad way, but I was like, turn it off. I want to watch the football. So I like scanning through the channels, and priorities is how it be. And she turned it over to like BBC also. She said, I just want to check BBC. I was like, why do you want to check BBC? She said, I want to check the weather. I was like, look out the fucking window, you dope. Sunny. Summer is here. Oh, it's not, but... And then Geese was talking about a fucking polar ice shelf splitting in two. And they have video footage of it. It's mad. The thing's fucking nuts. It's smashing.
Oh, yeah. It was captured from satellite, wasn't it?
It was... No, this was like a helicopter. Or something.
Oh, it was a helicopter that caught it.
It was something. It might not have been a helicopter. It was in like Antarctica, obviously, but I don't fucking know what it was that captured it. But it was like bird's eye view, and it looked like some form of like aircraft that was flying around capturing the footage. But it was fucking class. Obviously not.
I wouldn't say it's class. I'd say it's pretty bad.
It looked class, but like the geezer was saying that was talking about it, like the BBC News fucking scrub that was doing the interview was like, Well, what happens now? And I'm like, what do you fucking think happens now? It goes somewhere else, warmer, and melts. Like, that's probably
and then the
what's going to happen.
Like,
And that's what the geezer said. He's like, chances are, it will just float around aimlessly in the sea, and what if that happens? It'll disperse very quickly and it'll just melt. And it will, because Antarctica's fucking freezing, and the rest of the world isn't. In fact, Antarctica's not even that fucking cold anymore compared to what it used to be. So,
hell yeah! There's people out there who fucking deny it.
Trump.
Oh my god!
Also, while we're on the topic of geography, I saw a really scary thing the other day. It's fucking terrifying. So I know that I got asked by my cousin, he was high, and he was like...
Was it a positive pregnancy test?
He was like, do you believe in aliens? And I was like, yes. And he went, man, you man are idiots. And I was like, why? You think there's aliens on Earth? And I said, no, I think there's aliens out there.
What?
You fucking dickhead.
And he was like, I'm not saying I don't believe, but I want to know your reason. So I found a video. And it showed, like, the scale of the planets, right? So it showed, like, Mercury and, like...
So
it showed,
the size
like...
of Earth in
Yeah, it showed, like,
to the whole
Pluto.
fucking
And, like...
universe.
It's like Pluto, Mercury, and like a couple of stars, and like Mars and Earth and whatnot. And then it showed places like Saturn and Uranus that are bigger. Then it showed the Sun, and the size of the Earth in comparison to the Sun is rather small. And then it showed the remainder of the stars in the Milky Way. And it had a stat. It had a
some
stat
fucking massive ones
to say how much bigger it was and how many light years it was. And the fucking biggest star, the brightest star in the night sky, is 500,000 times bigger than the circumference of planet Earth.
Yep.
I think it might have been 500 million. I'm not even entirely sure, but it was fucking gigantic. And that is, I don't know how far away it was. Can't remember exactly. But that's the star we see when we look up at the sky at night time. The brightest one, and then the North Star they call it. That fucking thing is 500,000 times bigger than Earth. Earth's not exactly small.
I remember, like, speaking about sort of his sort of thing, saying like, "Oh, you guys are stupid."
Right, yeah.
I remember seeing this study that was done.
I just want to say he didn't call me stupid. He basically
No.
just said, you're idiots for thinking that aliens are on Earth. He didn't say aliens didn't
no.
exist. He just said that aliens are on Earth. So
No.
I will back him there.
Yeah. There's definitely no way that we're the only
yeah.
fucking beings in the whole thing of it. Not just
Oh, yeah,
in
no,
our
that
universe,
was...
but like the whole fucking. Like,
That's
I
what I was
don't
going
even
to
know
follow
what
up.
the word is,
That's what I was going to follow up with.
Space.
This sort of relates to the study as well. This study showed that a lot of people who think that we're the only living beings in the entirety of the universe are basically those who have like massive egos, like they're just full of themselves, because it takes a lot of ego to go, yeah, we're the only living creatures in this world. Well, not in this world, but like in this fucking universe.
I mean,
like,
we're not the only living creatures on Earth. So
no, exactly.
it's kind of worrying
So-
that people believe that. But like that, I was going to lead
Just
on with that. Is that in the same video, he was talking about all this stuff, and then he showed the Milky Way and how like he zoomed all the way out and showed the Milky Way, right? And then he showed, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, Andromeda, the other galaxy that Earth's set to collide with in 2.5 billion light years or something like that. That thing's like 5 times the size of the Milky Way. And these motherfuckers think that there are no aliens. I was... My cousin was high when he asked me this question, right? And I started pranging out when I watched this video. And my brain was racing, and I felt like I was stoned. Because my brain was having all these thoughts of like... Imagine there's someone on another planet in Andromeda, right? Sat at their laptop. Thinking, I wonder if there's life out there. I wonder if we're the only ones. And if you put us side by side, there's like me and this Donny with like 7 arms, and we're both speaking English, and we're both fucking thinking the exact same shit at the exact same time. And my brain was fucked after this. I was like, I need a beer. And fuck, it messed my head up so much. I couldn't sleep that night. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, there's definitely something out there.
Another thing is like, in one of these galaxies, are there like multiple planets that are able to traverse, like,
Or like
sorry,
Star
like
Wars.
yeah, like you could. Are there galaxies out there where like their life has developed so much that they've actually figured out travel throughout space to be able to get to like different planets without?
I'm getting on the 207 to fucking, I'm getting on the bus, going over there.
Yeah, the space bus.
It's like fucking
No,
Rainbow Road in Mario
like,
Kart.
You get what I mean? There's like domesticated ships that can, so like
Yeah,
you can
like
have
shuttles.
like a personal ship to go, sort of like the equivalent of cars. Like, is there a Star Wars-esque galaxy out there or universe or something like that? Because the universe could contain other universes because it's so big.
How mad would it be?
We don't know.
How mad would it be if one day loads of these things just landed on Earth, right? Just one day, just land on Earth, and that opens up, and they're just like these creatures, right? And they talk to us because they've studied our language for thousands of years. They studied our mannerisms, and they go, "You guys are so far behind. Come with us." And we jump in their ship. Next thing you know, we're on some fucking planet, more similar to Earth. All right, 5 times bigger, 10 times bigger, exactly the same. There's water everywhere and shit. You take your iPhone and they go, "Fuck me, I haven't seen one of them in about 70 years." And you go, "This is an iPhone 12," and you go, "Yeah, I haven't seen one of them in God knows how long." You're still on touchscreen phones. You still have devices. We can think about it and it appears. Like, do you know how mad that'd be? Could you? Oh, mate, the revolution.
That's what Elon Musk is looking to do, isn't it?
Elon Musk is actually like my hero. Have you ever seen his first ever podcast with Joe Rogan? He did 2. His first one.
Yeah, well, there was one
that
where
was the
he
first
spoke
one.
to
So-
Blunt and that.
If you watch that entire thing,
Yeah.
I'm convinced he's part robot. So if you watch him talk to Joe Rogan, yeah, there's a fucking saying. You can see how smart someone is by looking at their eyes, because when they talk, their eyes race everywhere, right? And you can see them thinking. You can actively see their brain working. Elon Musk's eyes, when he talks to Joe Rogan about like AI and space travel and all this shit, his eyes bounce around like a fucking pogo stick. Like, they just scatter everywhere. You can see him working all this shit out, and I'm like, oh my god, he's so smart.
It's the same as when Jordan Peterson was on his
I love him
podcast.
as
You
well.
can see the same with him. Like, whenever he's getting asked about topics and that, you can see his eyes always scatting about, trying to come up with how he can formulate his answers in the right way that he doesn't.
I
get,
love Jordan Peterson. I think some of his opinions are quite daft sometimes, but I think his message.
Yeah, it depends what it's on though. There's a lot of them where they are sort of his reasoning behind some of his points. You can see where he's coming from, but some of them are. Most of them are alright, but there's a couple which are a
watch
bit
him every day, more or less. Whether it's like a 30-second clip or a 10-minute clip, I watch something of his every day because it's so motivating, and it's humbling.
Well, I've
so
been doing that
humbling,
for like
but,
the past 2 years.
With Jordan Peterson, he has a book, doesn't he, called like 12 Rules for Life or something. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
planning
good
on
book.
reading it.
Really good book. It was like one of the best-selling books
Yeah,
in
I
the
need
world
to
in
read
like
it,
2019 or something.
ASAP, because I'm looking for stuff like that to sort of instill in me. But I've learned a lot from. You'd be surprised how much you can learn about life from watching smart people or just listening to smart people talk.
Yeah.
Like my life, I've been listening to podcasts and audiobooks since my first year at uni, so 2 years, when I had that like down spell, and it's completely changed my life. All the stuff I've learned, it's ridiculous. All the stuff you learn from, like, whether it's a podcast or an audiobook or like an interview you see on YouTube of them, like some things people just say that get cemented into your brain whether you like it or not, and it just doesn't leave.
See, one thing I really love doing is looking at like technological human advancements, because it really helps you just get that faith in humanity. So like, you could be feeling really down and you just look at this stuff and you just like, it is amazing what people can achieve. For some people it might make it feel like, oh god, I've never achieved that, but it sort of gives you hope in the world. So like, one thing that I love researching, because it's constantly changing all the time, is bionic limbs.
Cyberpunk.
Though yeah, no, so like, for people who've lost an arm. They can
Yeah,
get
like
these
war vets.
prosthetics that are full on robotic. It enables them to actually carry on with their lives once more. They can actually, you know, do stuff two-handed now, or like if they've got a leg missing or something like that. And I just love looking at things like that and hearing about people's lives now that they've got these, like, you know, how beneficial it is. And it's just so, I don't know, it's one of those things where it's just really heartwarming to look at, because you just like the fact that our technological achievements have come this far, that we're able to do this and completely change someone's life, especially those who have been born without limbs as well. Like, it's amazing. So like there was this one guy who he'd lost his limb due to an accident, and he was just getting like prosthetics off of the NHS and stuff like that, and he ended up becoming really depressed, like really badly depressed, and he was seeing a psychiatrist, and he said he told his psychiatrist that he just wanted to go in his car somewhere in a field with the doors locked and a hose going from the exhaust into his window. And then he managed to get
It's a weird way to kill yourself.
yeah
Yeah,
it kills you without you knowing.
People do it, like lock them in garages, like lock the garage, open the windows, and let the car run in.
But he managed to get on this waiting list to test this brand new bionic arm, and ever since then, like, it's really helped him overcome his depression stuff. He did a TEDx talk about it.
Oh, I love TED Talks.
What I'll do after we finish this, I'll put it in the chat. I recommend you guys watch it, because it's just so like amazing to hear. It's really eye-opening from that side of the thing, that's sort of from like their perspective as somebody who's lost a limb and stuff. And yeah, you'll sort of see why I like to look at this stuff, because it's just amazing, like just how technology has become like that. And then there's also things that people are trying to make as well. There's a company in Germany, they're trying to make a essentially like a bionic eye. It's a contact lens that you whack in,
I'm mad.
and basically the point of its existence is going to just eradicate the need for glasses, because what the contact lens does is
Just
you can
adapt.
essentially get it to like zoom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But that'd be
well, what they're
fucking
doing,
expensive though. That's the only problem. That's going to be
Yeah,
years
so-
until something like that is actually manageable, and even to manufacture it on that sort of scale.
that's exactly a point.
And to get it so it's got no problems, because something like that, you know, you've got an electrical implant on your fucking eyelid. It's not like having an Apple Watch on your wrist, you know. It's like something that is technically inside your body. Like that would be probably the first sort of official bit of prosthetics.
Well, yeah, because that's
you
one
can
point
try.
that they raised. They said they are waiting until the parts actually become affordable, because they don't want, because what they want to do is to make it accessible. They don't want to make it and go, it's going to be $10,000 to buy this, because, you know, fuck the people out there who actually need it. They're actually wanting to.
That's what it's going to be like, though.
The thing
for
is,
the first
yeah,
product
with
they
stuff
release
like-
that. Like, there's no matter how they try and do it, they're still gonna, you know, jump it up to a ridiculous margin, because it's the only product that
But
you know, has that. It's not like, you know, there's hundreds of other
with
ones
stuff
that
like
come
this
out.
is that at the end of the day, like, everyone says they want to do things for the people who need them to like better the quality of life, but it's still a business, and you've got to pay for these things somehow, right? And if you're paying $7,000 per one you make for the equipment, you want to make at least a profit. And
Yeah,
like things like that are, if we say $5,000, that just isn't accessible to the everyday person. You think the everyday person, probably slightly above minimum wage, and just about lives a comfortable life in a house with a car and some kids, they ain't going to be able to fork out unless they go deep into their savings. Not many people have money for things like that, and it won't be accessible. Like, the idea behind Tesla right now is to try and make electric cars accessible in 10 years, 15 years. Get rid of all form of...
But
And
even
the cheapest
Tesla's
Tesla out
like
there right
50
now is
grand.
35. It's the Model S, I think. But like, that's just not feasible. People don't have the money to spend £35 on a car. Your everyday person can't afford it.
Because I think the time at the minute is Tesla is in sort of the scale of electric car models. They're sort of the luxury brand of them.
Yeah,
You get like the Nissan Leaf and all that sort of stuff, and you get grants and that from the government.
The thing
but
is,
it's
he
still bloody
announced
expensive.
last year they've discovered like a new way to make their batteries, which is cheaper, and they're able to cram more cells in. So that's sort of a plus side. But there's also, again, back to Germany, because they're one of those technologically advanced nations out there. This company has figured out how to make batteries specifically for cars that doesn't use lithium. I can't remember what element it uses within it, but basically they're non-flammable, which means if you were to crash a car that had this battery in, the chances of it exploding are far, far less than with current electric cars, because lithium.
No. So if you ever saw the Richard Hammond
that
crash with his little Rimac Concept 1...
Because that's the problem with lithium ions. So they've managed to make a battery out of this other stuff.
R.I.P. Burnout Paradise.
Yeah. And also, the good thing with this battery is, because it's not the lithium, and because of how the cells are structured within it, they're able to put more in. And they said it's going to basically allow cars to be able to have like 600 or more miles per charge, which is more than some petrol cars.
That's nuts.
Like my car, its maximum mileage, so it says anyway, is 435 on a single tank.
I get like 300. I get like 320 to a tank.
I get like 5 before my legs start getting tired. And then
So they're currently waiting to get approval from the FDA and stuff like that, so that they can actually start like making these batteries, because if they can do it, then it's going to completely change the market. And they said it's cheaper to make than lithium ion as well, because you don't have to have so much like extra padding to protect the batteries because of how flammable it is. Like they're really wanting to change the market, and I reckon once these start getting made, it's going to change stuff like the electric market. Because if you think about it as well, if you get like a one of those home wall chargers for cars, you've only got to charge your car, like, with the average amount of driving people do, you'll only have to charge your car once a week.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, if you do it overnight, so it's fully charged in the morning, that's going to cost you about anywhere from £2 to £5 in electricity bill.
It's no different than charging your phone, is it?
No, exactly. Whereas if you're filling up your car, that's going to cost you 50 if you're filling it up to full.
Who actually? Yeah, but it's very rarely people fill it up.
No, yeah, but if you look at my car, where it's quite big, but it's got the same size petrol tank as a fucking Mini.
That's your fault.
I usually have to fill that car up weekly.
No, that's your fault.
So
Guzzles fuel.
50 quid a week compared to 5 quid a week. Like, it's a no-brainer. So if people are able to do that, and if these cars are running at 600 miles or more per charge, okay, granted that's not going to be like a highly realistic figure, but it's still going to be a lot, even like in real-world standards.
Especially with more charging docks that come about, it won't be as
but
bad.
if you think of it that way, you might not have to charge your car for 2 weeks, which means that it's going to cost you at most 10 quid a month to fucking fill up your car.
Yeah, it's pretty mad when you think of it like that.
So it will get to the point where it's going to all become like affordable, but
I think to finish out, I think it's good to say, like you were saying, how it's like almost refreshing to see the human spirit and stuff like that. Well, I think that's all you need. If you look at people like Elon Musk, for example, he's no different to, like, there's one of my favourite sayings is like everybody's broke at some stage. Everybody, because everyone starts with no money. Like,
unless you're Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, but like, you're not born with like. I get that. I mean, like, when you're actually born, everyone starts from somewhere. You're all born, all right. You don't have anything when you're born, apart from like gifts maybe, but you don't really have anything. It's the same with like. I think the best thing to watch if you're looking for like inspiration, right, is to watch really big obese people lose a lot of weight. Like,
yeah,
you don't have to be like, the biggest issue with people is that I think human potential. I'm not sounding like a guru here, but I genuinely think that if you have the right mindset, it's all about mindset. And if you've got the right mindset, your potential can be fucking limitless, absolutely limitless. Like there's no reason you can't do something. I'm not saying like go and run fucking 1,000 miles. That's like in a day. That's impossible. Like obviously within the realms of like realistic targets, but like for someone that's struggled with like weight loss and stuff and has like gotten pretty good at it now, it's all about just like maybe if you can't find the spirit or if you can't find the mindset, surround yourself with people that have the fucking mindset, and eventually it'll be instilled in you. You can't escape it. My favourite quote at the moment that I heard a couple of weeks ago was, if you surround yourself, if you spend your time like in a group of 5 losers, I promise you'll be number 6. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh shit, like it's all well and good like having self-talk and stuff and being like, yeah, trying to psych yourself up. But if you're with someone or you hang out with people that they don't want to go anywhere, they're stale, they're happy, they're content. Like being content is fine. Like it's not an issue. You don't have to strive to be like this fucking amazing human being that kicks life's ass every day for the rest of their life. Being content is fine. You can be content and be happy. But what you can't do is be content and then complain about not having any form of result. You can't say, for example, I'm going to use an example I heard from someone earlier last year. It's like, you can't say how, like, everyone gained weight during lockdown. A lot of people, there are the small minority of people that actually got a lot healthier and used it as time to get fit, right? But myself included, a lot of people got lazy, gained weight. You can't do what you normally do. You're stuck at home. It's very hard to stay active. You can't tell me, it's not impossible to stay active, but you can't tell me, I know someone that said, I'm not happy with how I look, and like obviously seeing old photos of themselves that have put on so much weight. And I said, so exercise, like buy some resistance bands off Amazon. They're like 15 quid. You remember the ones everybody was raving about that you can put on the door and not shut? Them ones are like 15, 20 pound. Like a good pair's like 30 quid. Yeah, it may seem like a lot, but it's an investment in yourself. You can do it. You've just got to believe to yourself you can do it. And once it clicks,
you can do it when you're B&Q it.
Yeah, but once you install it in yourself that you can do it, and you prove to yourself you can do it, it clicks and it doesn't go away. And if it does go away, it comes back. Like you can prove to yourself you can do it. You can do it again. But I said, I think so, and I think that's what people fail to see. Like this person said, "Oh, I'm not happy with how I look. I've put on so much weight. I want to lose weight." So I said, "All right, first step: eat healthy food." Like that saying "abs are made in the kitchen" is not a fucking lie. You lose weight. The only scientific way to physically lose weight is to eat less than what you consume. Be in a calorie deficit. That's the only scientific way to lose weight.
Yeah.
I said that.
People try to do too much anyway when they try to change stuff about their lives.
The first step, diet.
It's always a bad idea because if you miss one thing,
I was saying
then
to you
that's
two
gonna
earlier.
put you back.
I was saying to you two before we started recording. Like the reason I put on so much weight is because I've been eating like I've been going to the gym 4 times a week, and I'm not. So I didn't change the diet. So I put on a load of weight, and I've since dialed it back, and I lost 6 pounds in a week. But like with this situation, we're going to finish up in a minute because Tom's not feeling too good. But with the situation is like what I said, rather like abs are made in the kitchen, eat right. I am eating right. I'm not putting any weight on. I said, all right, then you've done step 1. Now, move more, exercise. Like do something. And the response was, I can't be bothered. And I'm like, so don't complain about not seeing results if you come to me and say I can't be asked. Like I'm quite good when it comes to fitness and stuff, and I've helped people that are not like clients because I'm not qualified, but like people like my parents who struggle with weight loss have come to me and said, do you think we should be eating this for dinner, or would you prefer something else that's healthier? And I'll say, like, what's in it? And I'll have a look and I'll be like, no, yes. Or like, oh, can we have a takeaway tonight, or are we not allowed? And I'm like, well, if you want one, there's no harm in having one, but just know you might lose 2 pounds instead of 4. Like, it varies, but you can't sit there. It's okay to be content, but you can't be content and expect things to happen in life. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, when
if you're not actively making the decision to stay still, then it becomes bad. If you're actively deciding I'm not going to go anywhere, that's a negative. if you're in a Formula One race
Yeah.
and you're at the front of the grid and you think, I ain't gonna fucking go anywhere. No one's going anywhere. You're at the fucking front, big man. So the only way you're gonna go anywhere in life is by getting up and fucking moving. Like, you can't sit there and expect everyone to carry you through it because it fucks their lives up. You can't expect to be carried through life. Sometimes you need that little bit of assistance. Sometimes you need someone to give you a push. That's fine. Everybody gets there, but you can't spend 2-3 years being unhappy. 10 years for some people, 20 years being unhappy, hating life and blaming the world and everyone around you for what life's done to you. Like, everybody gets shit. Everyone gets dealt like shit hands in life. There are some people that are born and they've been orphaned. They've been born in like poor parts of the world, like places.
Born with horrible conditions.
Yeah, born with like horrible conditions. Like Oscar Pistorius. I know he's like a fucking criminal, but like he's no, but like
Really
he's a great example to use at the same time. If you look at him from just an athlete.
I'm the greatest
Pistorius, the Blade Runner.
I am Oscar Pistorius.
Jim Jeffries is a hero, but he's a great example to use as like an athlete, as someone that has this problem and has 2 legs that are essentially they are prosthetic. Got like 2. He's got 2 halves.
So you don't have that legs.
But like, yeah, he had 2 leg amputations. But look what he achieved as an athlete, as a track runner.
Well, actually, we fucking
First Paralympian to
Paralympian
race
to,
in the
partake
actual
in the
Olympics. And win. He won.
he
He
beat
beat
fucking
people
some
that
people with
actually
legs as
have
well.
a physical, anatomical advantage over him, and he still beat them because of his mindset. And if that isn't proof that mindset is everything in life, then I don't know what the fuck is.
Just keep that part of the mindset. Don't do the whole shoot your partner bit.
Yeah, don't then go and shoot your missus. It's probably not a good way. That is not good.
good.
I'm the greatest Blade Runner that ever lived. I shoot girls. I fucking love Jim Jeffries.
And on that
Quick,
note,
I want to
think
say,
we should end it.
if you don't know what we're referencing, Jim Jeffries, is it Freebird?
I think so.
I think it's Jim Jeffries
can't remember
Freebird.
the
Go and
social
watch Jim
as well.
Jeffries on Netflix. He's a very funny man.
Yes.
Just
type
greatest
it
Blade
on
Runner
the
that ever
If
lived.
you don't like the word cunt, then maybe
Probably
don't
not.
watch it.
Probably not a good word. If you don't like the word cunt, you're probably.
Don't watch any Australians.
But we are going to unfortunately end it a little bit sooner today because Tom isn't feeling too well. I'm sure you can all understand. He's got the COVIDs. So we're
He
going
got the Rona.
coronavirus. We're gonna let him go and rest and have a little nap because he's not feeling too good.
Yes.
But thank you guys for listening. As always, go and give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter. I forgot about Twitter. I haven't been using Twitter recently. I'm getting pretty bad with it. No, I use it sometimes, but like Instagram's the main one, isn't it? But
Yeah.
fair enough. But no, we are gonna leave it there. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Get in touch with us if you have any questions or if you want to argue with us. We're always up for discussion. But thank you guys for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the 2 episodes in a week. It's not gonna happen again. Yeah, it's our own fault.
Yes,
Tom's
that
been
was our
sick,
fault,
so
though.
don't blame Tom. It's not Tom's fault. He's been ill. I mean, you could,
Yeah,
but it's
you
probably
could
not a
do,
good
but
idea.
I'll come
Anyway, guys,
No,
enough of the waffle. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Au revoir.